Hey guys, Pyker here again, and we're playing Kerbal Space Program still. um, I'm kind of pounding out these episodes today. Um, so we got our reusable lander, which is this guy right here. Um, it's reusable because um, it's got pretty much everything you need, and it's got enough fuel for pretty much any kind of use that you need planet-wise. Maybe not a couple planets that have more gravity than than Kerbin or whatever, but for this lander should be good for like Duna, should be good for Eve, it should be good for the moon, it should be good for Minmus, and that's pretty much as far out as I've thought about it so far. So we are going to go to the moon today. So we are going to launch this guy here. I think we can make it out there one trip without rendezvousing with our space station. We should be able to, anyways. What I might end up doing is, I didn't really think about that. I was thinking about hooking this module, up to the space station and using any fuel that might be left in it. But I'm not sure if we'll need to do that. I had a little bit of fuel left in it last time I went to the moon, but I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. I kind of have an idea now. Okay, all right. So I had to think about it. Sorry. All right. So we're gonna launch this guy. We're gonna turn on our SAS, and we are going to throttle up about to there ish, and we are gonna launch this puppy in three, two, one, go. Screw slow countdowns. Slow countdowns are for the weak. Um, so yeah, this episode we are going to attempt to land on the moon with Bill and Jebediah. I'm hoping we won't lose either of them in the trip. We shouldn't. But what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna rendezvous with our moon space station or moon docking station and make sure that I have enough fuel for everything that I need to do. Basically, I'm just gonna make sure that the lander has as much fuel as it can carry, and if there's any fuel left in our tug portion of the lander, it'll be. This is the one problem. These solid rocket boosters that I put on here have more freaking fuel than the actual fuel tanks that I'm using, so I have to wait until the solid rocket boosters lose fuel before I can detach the other two tanks, which basically I have more weight on the thing than I should doing this. So we're gonna detach solids, detach those two, and then throttle up. There we go. Little inefficient. Lost a little bit of speed, but it shouldn't be too bad. We're already at 6,000 meters, which is pretty good. So we're gonna keep going here. And I really don't think we'll need to meet up with our space station. So I'm planning not to meet up with it. So we'll see how that goes. We should be able to get up into orbit no problem, because this whole thing, the amount of thrust that I have for it, it's got a lot of it's not very heavy, so we shouldn't have any trouble getting into orbit, and we shouldn't have any trouble getting out to the moon with just this module, because I've done it before once, but I'm not exactly sure how I did it that well. So we're going to attempt to do that again and see what happens. Jebediah is stoked as always. So we're gonna ditch these outer tanks. There we go. And we have a full orange tank to take us all the way into orbit. Well, that's the plan anyways. But we are losing a lot of Delta V right now, which it shouldn't be losing that much. So we're gonna keep going, keep trucking, and see if we can get this guy orbit. We got some nice lights on here so you guys can see what's going on. Um, so I don't know if you guys saw the I think I covered this two episodes ago or 3 episodes ago, but there's the new update looks awesome. I cannot wait for the new update of Kerbal Space Program. It's going to be so sweet because you can actually collect data and like forward it down to the space center. So I think that's awesome. I think that's just another piece of the career mode in action, I guess. Which I can't wait for the career mode. I think that's going to be awesome when that comes out. Which I'm not exactly sure when that comes out, but we will see. I will let you guys know when that comes out. I'm probably going to do once 0.22 comes out. Probably going to do like a video of just covering all the new stuff in 0.22. Which is there's new pieces, new modules, actually collecting data, which is cool. So that might actually not be a live video for once. I might actually just do like a video or take video of all the new stuff and kind of just explain it as I watch it, I guess. But yeah, we're attempting to reach the moon. I really wish I didn't lose all my save files when we when we got into that bit of a predicament last time. Whenever I stranded our guys on the moon, because I definitely got them back, and it was actually pretty cool the way I got them back. But I lost all of that footage and lost everything, and anything that had to do with it, unfortunately. So we're gonna go tilt over a little bit more because we're about to get out of the atmosphere here, and we need to get up to orbital velocity, which I say it every time, but it's about 2.2 kilometers per second, or 2,200 kilometers or meters per second, rather, 2,200 meters per second. That's about what you need to get into orbit around Kerbin, which is a lot. But and to get into, like for example, to get into orbit around the moon, it takes about 400 meters per second to get into orbit around the moon. It doesn't take much at all. But Kerbin is probably the hardest part of space travel, is getting out of orbit around Kerbin. So I basically started just adjusting the way I build my spacecraft to make it easier to get out of orbit, and then just kind of doesn't take much to get anywhere after you get out of orbit. So I've been designing all my stuff with smaller, like very, very small engines that don't use a lot of fuel, and basically it's been working very well, surprisingly. So we're going to cut this engine. We are going to extend our solar panels, which I think is hotkey 1. Yes, it is. And it only extended one side. That's weird. Let's try it again. Try it again. Press 1. Did we lose 2 solar panels or something? Huh. That's weird. Extend our solar panels so we don't lose power, which we have a lot of power, so we should be okay. I'm basically waiting till we get to our apoapse to start burning again. Because if you guys can notice, I might be able to get into orbit without even using my second stage, which would be astounding. Well, not astounding, but it'd be awesome and make very, 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 very easy to get to the moon then. Because then we have this entire tank to get us into, into orbit around the moon, and we'll have so much fuel left over in this thing that we'll actually probably end up docking with our space station and unloading all the fuel from this into it, and then getting into I'll explain it when we get there. I'm not going to cover it right now. It's not that important. Oop, almost missed our apoapse here. So we're going to throttle up all the way. Keep pointed up a little bit. Actually point up a little bit more, just to make sure that our apoapse doesn't go too low, and we stay in front of it. Staying in front of your apoapse is probably the best. Oh, just ran out of fuel. We're gonna ditch this guy. Ditch. There we go. I put some parachutes on that guy, so whenever it comes back down, it should be good. All right, so we only got roughly 500 to 600 meters per second that we need to gain before we get into orbit. Roughly 600 right now, which is fine. We should be able to get into orbit without too much trouble. At least I don't think we'll have too much trouble, and we shouldn't use that too much fuel to do it either, which is also good. So, but one thing I did notice last time I took this lander is that it siphons fuel from my main tank of the lander, which I don't want it to do. So I need to shut that off because I made that mistake last time. I landed with only these two tanks full of fuel, but I still made it back to Kerbin, surprisingly. Um, I've learned a lot in the amount of time that I've been playing this game. Um, so I'm trying to teach those tips and tricks to you guys, basically, as I do missions from around here. Wow, we're actually behind the moon. The moon's behind us. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool shot right there, huh? Let's take a screen of that. There we go. Alright, so we are about up to orbital velocity, which we should be seeing our periaps start to rise here in a second. Roughly around 2,200 meters per second. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, come on. I had it timed and everything. Oh, there it is. See, I was close. I was close. Alright, so we're going to wait till I get to our apoaps again, and then we're going to extend our periaps so it's up out of the atmosphere. At least 70,000 meters or 70 kilometers above the surface, so we can fast forward at 50 times instead of 4 times, because that's extremely annoying. And I am not even pointed in the correct direction right now because I'm an idiot and I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking. So we are going to actually wait again, sorry, until we get to our apoaps and point prograde like I was supposed to do the first time and extend our periapsis up to about 70,000 meters or 70 kilometers. All right. Now, we should also, guys, I don't know if you knew this, but if you are in orbit around Kerbin and you're going to the moon, whenever you see the moon on the map on the other side of the, you basically want to start burning right at the moon whenever you're looking at your orbit. So if you're using maneuver nodes, you put a maneuver right here and you just add delta V and extend it out to the orbit of the moon, and more than likely you'll run into a encounter, and there it is. And then you can just kind of adjust from there. I want to make sure that I'm going in the correct direction around the moon, so I'm going to extend it even more and then actually move the whole node so we can make our periaps lower. So is that making it bigger or making it better or worse? Let's see here. Better or worse, better or worse. Probably better. 1,000,000 meters. Alright, so there we go. That's what we want right there. 128. Let's bring this down. Whoa, didn't want to do that. Bring that back up. 200. So I'm trying to use as little fuel as I can to get out to the moon, and then just move the node so I can get close to the surface. And that seems to be the best way to do it and best way to save fuel anyways. All right, there we go. 40,000. That's right where our space station is sitting, so that's perfect. It's about 2-minute burn, which isn't bad. About 858 meters per second we need to add in delta V, which isn't terrible at all. We should have more than enough fuel to do that. Yeah, we have plenty of fuel. So basically we're going to point at our node and let the game load and wait until we get to our maneuver node, which is in now, actually. So we're going to start our burn now. Full throttle all the way at our maneuver node. We're a little bit behind, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. What I used to do too whenever I was doing these maneuver nodes is I'd split the time. So if it was a 2-minute burn, I'd start my burn at a minute and let it burn through, and then have it, on the node in T minus whatever. It'd be T plus a minute, so it'd be half and half. But I realized that that's actually not what you want to do. You want to burn exactly for the amount of time before you get to the node. So it's a lot more accurate that way anyways. Makes your life a lot easier. in case anybody else was doing that or making that mistake. That's what I was doing for a while, and it was actually making my life more difficult than it needed to be. So there's that little tip for you guys. If you're using maneuver nodes, make sure you burn for the exact amount of time that it says the estimated burn is in. So if it's 2-minute burn, you need to start your burn in T-minus 2 minutes to your maneuver node, if that makes sense. I kind of hope it does. Since I'm trying to help. But anyways, we are going to try to get into orbit around the moon. And then we are going to dock with our space station and dump any fuel we have left in our lander. Couldn't even think of the word. Dump any fuel we have left in our lander that we don't need into the space station. And then we're going to take this tug with us down to the surface of the moon and crash into the surface of the moon because we don't need it floating around space for no reason because it doesn't have any parachutes on it, and it's got a computer on it so we can run it with fuel, so we could bring it back to Kerbin if we wanted to, but we're just going to get rid of it on the moon. We don't really need to worry about it too much, so we are going to point more directly at our maneuver node here. Got about 100 meters per second to change here. Then we'll be into a contact with our with the moon, hopefully. So we are going to bring it down, and I usually get to about 10 meters per second of change, and then I cut the engines and make very slight adjustments after that, just so I can keep it close and try to get down to 0 without adding any more meters per second. There we go. Alright, so we should be in a nice encounter with the moon. I can't see. 40,000 feet. Maneuver node says, oh, it's at 400,000. Let's see if we can point prograde. That'll change it down. Can't really tell. Yep, it's going down. Cool. So we're going to adjust this down to about 40,000 or 50,000 meters above the surface of the moon, so we can rendezvous with our space station that is floating handsomely around it, and do all our refueling, and then probably land on the moon. I might do that this episode, or might do it next episode. I haven't decided. I'm trying to shorten these episodes quite a bit, because I know that the two before the last one were pretty long, so I know that some of you guys can't just sit around for 45 minutes to watch these episodes, so I'm trying to cut them down to 20 to 30 minute long episodes, just to make life a little bit easier, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna probably get out to the moon, dock with our space station, and then refuel everything, and then it's extending now. I don't want to do that. Let's add a maneuver. Let's see if slowing it down will do anything. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Nope, don't want to do that either. 45, 135, 18. Cool. Let's bring that's perfect. We'll leave that like that. All right. So we are going to do quick save, just in case. Is that Minimus out there? Yes, it is. That's our next stop, guys. We're going to go Minimus. Minimus has like no gravity, which is awesome. And it's on a different axis too than the moon, which is also makes it a little more difficult to get to. But it's not a huge problem. But anyways, we are going to find our node, turn on our RCS so I can actually move the space, or the lander. We are going to find our node, and we are going to fast forward until we get to our maneuver node, which is in 44 minutes. Flight time, or game time rather. It's not actually going to be 44 minutes. That would suck if you actually played it like that, like hardcore mode or something. I can't even imagine somebody doing that. It would suck. Like people doing it in real life. That would suck. Anyways, we are pointed in the right direction. It's about a 4-second burn, which is nothing. So we're going to fast forward out to our maneuver node and make our adjustments once we get there. We should still be in the general correct orbiting direction. Always got to remember that you want to orbit in the same direction as everything else that you have orbiting the moon. I made that mistake before, and I don't even know how I did it. I don't even think I was paying attention whenever I did it. But it was like I was like, cool, I can rendezvous with my space station, and then I was like, oh wait, my space station is orbiting in the complete opposite direction. That sucks. Oops, missed our node here. It's not a big deal. We should be able to adjust it still. Just get rid of this then. So bring it down. Yes, it is. Put it right about there. And get rid of this and make sure. Yep, we're good. All right. We're going to quick save again just to make sure so we don't screw ourselves. And then fast forward. Dum bum ba bum bum. Now we're going to slow down before we get to our switch over here because it makes me nervous when it does that because it has a tendency to lag extremely bad whenever it switches over orbits. So we're going to fast forward and come on, switch over. You know you want to. Go ahead. You can switch. There you go. That seems to be the trick for me anyways, is to get out of map view whenever I switch orbits. Seems to load a little bit quicker. We are gonna turn our orbit in here. See what 37. I can deal with that, and then we'll adjust it as we go and set our target for our space station and rendezvous with it and start our refueling process. Let's point at our node here. And right about there. And fast forward. Fast forwarding fun. Yay. Our space station's it's fine. We should be able to make it have a deal with that. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we're going to wait until we get to our maneuver node, and we are going to burn to bring our orbit down. One. Ooh, just about missed it again. Full on burn here. Hopefully I did this. I have enough time to do this. I should. Make it look pretty for you guys. Let you watch the actual space station. Ooh, that's a cool picture, huh? Let's take a screening of that. Boom. That's a cool looking picture. Ooh, camera changed, so it means we're in orbit. There we go. All right, now we need to set our, we'll get rid of that node anyways. Set this as our target, and then, let's see here, adjust these guys. Get these close anyways. Ooh, I might be able to rendezvous with it right there. If I can, I'm gonna. 10 kilometers. 9 kilometers. 9.5. Ooh. 10. 8.1. Let's see if I can rendezvous with it on one try here. 8.6. I honestly think I can deal with that. 4.6. That's way better. Cool. So we don't have to make a bunch of adjustments once we do that. So we can actually rendezvous with it rather quick. It's only a 10-second burn too. Cool. So we are going to wait until we get to our maneuver node and do that. I'm actually kind of stoked that I pulled that one off. It was by accident completely. So we are going to use that to our advantage. Now this one, we can't miss the node. Can't miss it by much anyways. Alright. Let's see if it stayed like that. 21 kilometers. How'd that get so foobarred? Let's see if we can add a maneuver here. Nope. Ah, we slowed down too much. That's what happened. .2. I can deal with that. Where's our node here? There it is. It's 0.3 meters per second. I need to change to get from, I don't even know what it was at, 20 kilometers or something like that away. 0.3 meters per second of change. Dum 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 dum. Right about there. Make our adjust. Oh, might have been a little too much. Let's see if that did anything. Oh, we didn't even hit the node yet. 5.8. Cool. All right, let's make a round robin trip over here and meet up with our space station in our highly eccentric orbit, which is perfectly fine because all we need to do is rendezvous. Because then if we rendezvous, we'll be on the same trajectory as ye old, or same orbit as the space station, which is awesome. So we are going pretty quick in comparison to our space station, which is fine. But we need, how far away are we? 46 kilometers away. So we're going to wait till we get pretty close before we start. Well, not pretty close, but close enough before we start burning to slow our speed down in comparison to our target. So probably right around 10 kilometers away, we'll start slowing down. So we can get nice and close to our space station and do our refueling. Because we do have a little bit of fuel left in this, which is good. Shouldn't have used any fuel for anything else. So we are going to actually burn and correct our thing here. Try to get our node over towards, I think I'm burning the wrong way. I am. If I burn this way, I'll get closer. Basically trying to change the whole thing to get it close to the space station. And we should be able to get it right on top. There we go. Now we should be coming in within a couple 100 meters of the thing before we have to slow down completely. Which was the plan, and slow down. Alright. 1.8 kilometers away. I'm going to adjust this again. Get closer to the space station. Which reminds me, I need to go into the space center, or tracking station, or tracking center, and change the names of these things, so we can actually identify them easily on the list. Now, we're going pretty quick right now, but we are going to come right by the space center, space station. So we are going to start slowing ourselves down quite a bit here in a second. Slow it down to about 10 meters per second, just because it makes me feel better. Bill and Jebediah. Bill's straight face. Man, you know, he could do. He's very tough. He's a tough Kerbal. Jebediah is just out of his mind, staring at, I don't even know what he's staring at. Space, I guess. Just happy as could be. And we are slowly approaching our space station. We are gonna quick save just in case something catastrophically wrong happens, which it shouldn't, but you never know. So we're gonna press Alt. It's time warp just a touch until we can get close, and then we'll make our adjustments accordingly. Until we're about 100 meters away. There we go. All right, so we're gonna slow ourselves down to nothing and then point in the correct direction of where we exactly want to go. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna point. We're actually gonna point north because that's the way our space station is pointed. So we're gonna point north, and we are going to use our RCS to get in close. So we need in. Might actually just be easier to do it this way. Lights, nice bright lights lighting up the space station. And press N. So we can get close. I don't know why the space station is floating all weird. Shouldn't be, it should be straight, but it's not. I don't think I left it like that. Okay, so we are going to set a target here so we can dock. There we go. And we're going to switch over to our space station and straighten this thing out, because I don't know why it is wobbling or it's floating in such a way, because it shouldn't be. It should be facing north like I left it. And we are going to dock our lander. It should be right about here, roughly. Yes, right there-ish. Yes, right there. And turn off RCS so it stops moving. Alright, let's switch back and go from there. So we are coming in. We need to set our target again, because whenever you switch, you lose your target. Set that as our target. And we are going to slow ourselves down in relation to the space station. And we are going to move wrong way, over towards it. And that's facing the wrong way, so I'm actually spin this thing so I can actually know what I'm doing here. Right about there. So we want to go that way. Perfect. All right, so we are going to dock and refuel, and then probably end this episode so we can get another entire episode for the whole moon landing because I don't want to bore you guys. Um, and if you notice, we do have quite a bit of fuel left in here, which I mean it's 200 units of fuel, which is a lot to use for the moon, depending on how fast you're going, obviously. Um, we need to go this way. Now I got to be careful because I don't want to bang into the solar panels here. I'm going pretty quick right now, so we're going to actually slow ourselves down. There we go. All right, it's a little bit better. So we're going to set this guy as our target. I think that's the right one. And we need to go forward and to the right. And stop going up. Because we have to be careful with our tanks on top of our lander here so we don't knock those off. Because if we knock those off, we screwed. We be screwed if we knock those off. So we got to be careful going in here. Do a little touch up. See where we're going. Let's control from here. Let's make sure that this is our guy. There we go. Get a little bump up. Make sure they're lined up pretty close. Ooh, a little off there. Get these all lined up roughly. Get a little tap up. And hopefully this will dock without a hitch here. Might break off our solar panel, so we're going to retract that one. We missed. There we go. Turn those off so they dock, so it doesn't wobble away, wobble apart. Are we connected? I can't tell. Yes, I'm assuming yes. Yes, we are connected. All right, cool. So we are going to dump the rest of our fuel into this. Like so. And then we are going to make sure that this tank is full, which it is not. And we are going to fill it. Make sure the rest of our tanks are full and everything. And we will then cut this episode so we can get the next episode be a landing on the moon. Turn those off. We're gonna deactivate this engine. Like so. I think. Yes. Alright, and we're actually gonna point this damn thing so it actually goes where it's supposed to. Pointing north. Press T. There we go. Now it should stay like that. Cool. Take a screeny. All right. So that's it for this episode, guys. Next episode, we're gonna actually land on the moon, preferably close to our original flag. Um, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool to have it to shoot for a target. Um, so yeah, that's it for this episode. Next episode will be landing on the moon. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and leave comments. And I will see you next time.